Welcome an adjunct professor at Montclair State University, Dan Geltrude. Okay, so Dan, Airbus did not specify in which countries it will begin those layoffs, which will make up around 1.7% of its total workforce. So Airbus's main competitor in the aerospace defense industry has actually been Boeing, which has also downsized itself. Dan, how does Airbus revitalize this underperforming division?
Well, you could see the way they're starting off here is by making cuts and getting leaner. When you have a company that is struggling in terms of having losses, the easiest way to start to reverse that is to cut labor. And that's exactly what they're doing. Now, if you look at what Boeing is doing, they're actually cutting 10% of their labor. So obviously there's trouble here for both companies, and it's really important that these two giants are able to do business because we need them.
Yeah, absolutely, especially with all of the struggles that Boeing obviously has had lately. Let's talk a little Bitcoin. So it has been soaring to nearly $68,400. That's its highest point since July. This marks a 9% jump from where it was just a week ago and has caused other cryptos to rally. So the price is still short of the record 74,000 that we saw just back in March. Dan, still, do you think we'll continue to see Bitcoin grow?
Yeah, I do. And the reason for that is investors and the public at large is getting a lot more familiar with Bitcoin as well as other cryptos. You know, for a while, this was completely something that people didn't understand. But as they understand it more and they're getting more comfortable, more people are buying in and using it as an investment tool. So I believe that Bitcoin, as well as the other cryptos, are going to continue to rise in value.
Yeah, I'm still learning about Bitcoin. We saw former President Donald Trump a few months ago actually use Bitcoin, and he's really been pushing it. So I think a lot more people are really learning about it. How about this? So after going out of business over a year ago, Bed Bath & Beyond is now returning to having brick and mortar locations, but this time at a former rival's locations. So Beyond Incorporated, which bought the retailer out of bankruptcy, is now investing $40 million into the Container Store to sell Bed Bath & Beyond brand at its 102 locations. So Dan, do you think this Beyond is going to see success in reviving the brand? Again, it is just their branded items that will be sold at the Container Store.
Well, I think it's going to be difficult here, not impossible, but when you look at what's going on, they are going in a direction that most retailers are not, meaning going back to brick and mortar as opposed to the online push. So this is an experiment they're going to try. I'm a little skeptical as to whether it's going to be successful, but we're going to see if it works.
Yeah, it is very interesting. Everyone else is going online, and they're kind of reversing. It's a very interesting experiment, like you said. Again, and are people going to the Container Store? I don't think I've seen many of those. So again, we're really going to have to see how this one plays out. Dan Geltrude, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Always great having you on.
Thanks, Alex.
All right.